Yes, Ramanand here. Once again, thank you for joining this program and coming here to watch this video. Today, in this video, we will be focusing on one of the biggest challenges people face today, which is understanding their business and how to grow their business the real way. There are so many different ways to grow a business, and there are so many different schools of business thoughts. Business schools have come all the way, the 80s and starting with the 70s and 80s, a different thought of schools were there, and then the 90s, and after the internet came, things changed and situations changed, and businesses had to adapt to the new changes. And then the 2000 and the last 10-15 years have been like phenomenal changes have happened in the business atmosphere, and especially for you and me, like we are in the experts industry. Like we are trying to build our business around our expertise, whether you are selling a cupcake, you are selling a business, you are selling a coaching, a training, or selling yourself or your time. We are all in this. The entire world is moving towards the experts industry economy, and India and countries like India are trying to hit the $1 trillion market and $5 trillion, I guess. And this is no big joke. Actually, it's happening. It's phenomenal, and I want to understand, I want you to understand how to access this big market. And the same kind of thinking or the thought process may not be working in this environment. How do you be relevant in today and tomorrow, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years from now? That is what going to make a big difference in business. And in this video, we are going to see and understand what exactly moves the needle for you in your business, because that's so important today. There are so many different ways to run a business, and today it's a startup world, and people are thinking like they come up with an idea, they get funded, and they go with business. And unfortunately, 8 or 9 out of 10 such businesses excuse me fail like this. The reason is they have not thought out or planned their business in the new way, because it's a new economy, it's a new world, it's new games are there and new rules apply. So in this video, I'm trying to break it up, starting with understanding what a business is. I know it's very basic, but don't lose me yet, because we'll start with the basics, and also at every step of the way, I'm going to give you 2 needle movers for every step. That means you're not just building a business, you're also making it like grow and scale up and thrive like 10x, 50x, 100 times more. How do you do that? Because that's what is going to be very important for you in your business. Because people may have already asked you, and I have been fortunate and blessed to be able to build my own business to multiple millions of dollars in North America and Asia and India. So, and that too happened, I started from scratch. And not only that, I also worked with many other businesses, like multiple millions of dollars. They have started, they've done their business, and sometimes they hire me to come and speak, and sometimes I go as a trainer to their top executives. And I have seen and understood by creating my own multiple millions of dollars businesses, plus also consulting so many other businesses around the world, and I see their thinking of the successful businesses, their focus is on the needle movers. Like what exactly moves the needle? It's not just like you have an idea, you bring people around the idea, you put the money in and take the profits out. That used to work, fortunately, like 60 years ago, like 100 years ago. Like the big companies, when they started, it was a capitalistic society back then. But today it's a whole new different world. And I ask so many people, I ask them what's your business? Why are you in business? And most people give this one thing. They say we solve a problem. And today, folks, people don't like me if I say this. If you are just focusing on solving problems, then you're not at all in business today, because that's not going to work in today's environment, because there are other people who are probably smarter than you, smarter than me, who can come and solve the same problem faster, cheaper, less expensive, and in a more efficient way, right? So if solving problems is your business, then probably it's not going to thrive. So what else should you do? I have the answers here. Your business should, of course you have to solve problems, but not just problems. You need to have the needle movers. That's what we are going to discuss in this video today. And let's start that entire process by understanding business as I just wanted to give use the metaphor of a tree, like how a tree, we all know tree, right? Trees have roots, they have shoots, and they have branches, and then the fruits that the trees bear, or the fruits of your business, of your labor, of your effort and time that you put in. And trees bear fruits not just for you, it's for everybody else. Maybe your customers, your vendors, everybody. So you build an organization that you want to last longer. Not only that, you also want to reap the benefits of the business, not just for you, but for your customers, for vendors, for everybody else, and their customers as well. And that's what makes a business grow big, grow tall, and grow wider, I would say. So if you are looking at creating a business, scaling it up, thriving, then you have to look at the biggest needle movers, the biggest ones, like what exactly you need to do, you need to tweak, you need to understand and put in your effort. You have to understand the first thing about your business is you have to take back the ownership of that business, or the role and responsibility of that business. Like you are the captain of the ship. If the ship sinks or sails, it depends only on you. Like you should take responsibility. It's not like some people also, there are so many coaches out there, business, people teaching business, business coaching, where their own business is not successful. They are trying to teach other people how to run their business, and they are saying like you should move away from your business and you should bring more people into the business. I'm not saying that you should not bring more people into the business. At the same time, how strong or how big or how how you have laid the foundation for this business and how to build that organizational culture. You sow a mango tree and a mango tree comes up, and you sow a different seed, something else comes up. Like sowing a neem seed and expecting a mango tree to happen, that's not going to work today, right? Like no amount of innovation or having people surrounding the tree with the plant with all the different kinds of fertilizers you may bring, the water you may bring, and all the scientific methodologies you can bring, but it will only grow up to a neem tree, not a mango tree, and it will only yield the bitter seeds, not the sweet juicy fruit like a mango. So that's what we are going to focus today here. And I want you to understand, and there are 6 things I want to teach you. 2 are like really the big mind-blowing kind of stuff that I learned when I coached, when I built my business, and also when I coached other businesses around the world. I learned about these 2 things. There are many other things, but these are the most important for today's session that I want to teach you. I want to teach you to see your business in a different angle, in a different way, so that you not only reap the benefits of the business growing itself, but you also take back your lifestyle back from the business as well. Because I have seen so many people, they start their business, they run their business, they're working on it day and night, and somehow they're also making the business work for paying the bills sometimes, but they are not able to take anything out of this business. Like that has to happen. If that has to happen, you have to follow these things. Let's start with the first thing. Let's start with the basics first. Let's start with the outcomes first, because if you consider this as a business, most of the outcome for the harvest of the business is up here. Right? Let's start with the outcomes first, and then go down till the foundation or the root level. The first focus that I want you to understand is customer results. So when you start a business, and when you are already in business perhaps, what are the customer focus, or the outcomes of the customers that you have? What do your customers want to achieve in this world? It's not just problems, because problems need to be solved, but anybody else can come and solve the problem. They can take away your customers if they can solve the same problems in a better way than you. So what else do you need in order to have a better understanding of the customers? Is you need to go for, I'm going to give you 2 needle movers in this category here. The first one of them is, there are two of them here. The first one is aspirations. Let's come to that. And the second one is the customer outcomes. So when I say aspirations, it means over and above solving the pains and problems of your customers, what other higher aspirations can you offer them? Can you provide your customers? So what are they going to achieve? I don't care whether you are selling a product or a service. After becoming your customer, what are they going to get as an outcome? For example, let me give you an example of my own business. One of my brands, like I help people, create their message and also publish their message in a big way in the form of a book. So my customer outcome is they become famous and well known, and by publishing a book, and they also become more courageous and confident because now they have become a published author, and they also get that authority. They get invited to speak on stages, they get to sell more of their programs or products or services, and they elevate in their influence. They are able to influence their audience in a much better way than before. So that it's not just helping someone write a book and publish it. Okay, that is just solving a problem. How do we go above that solving problem thing is how do we think beyond the solving problem? That is the higher aspiration. So for me, I have to think, what are the higher aspirations of my prospects or my customers even before they become my customers? Like I see them as, becoming that higher authority and gaining that reputation and gaining that credibility and leaving a legacy behind sometimes. So these are the higher aspirations that they want in their life. Just like, another example, very famous example is always, this is quoted, Apple. So do you think Apple is a product that solves problems or has a higher aspirational aspect to everything that they produce? Because when iPad came, the tablet problem was already solved, and there were already tablets in the marketplace. But iPad came and became a big hit. Why? It's not just having an iPad, it is having a system, like it's integrated in the first place. Like when you have an iPad and you have an iPhone, they both are integrated together. And you have an iMac, it's integrated as well. So we'll come to the integration part as well, but it's always the higher aspiration. People who own an iPhone, they don't say I have a mobile, they say I have an iPhone. It's my iPhone. That's the kind of connection they built with the higher aspiration and their customer. They build that connection. So that's what you can do, I can do, everybody can do, and that's what you should do actually, because when you tie in your customer outcomes with their aspirations, that is kind of value distinction that provides you, whether you are selling your products or programs or services, that is the value distinction. You're so away. So a few years down the line, like these are the kind of things that I want to teach you that will help you in a few years. Your customers, like they're so away from you, like so behind you, like, and they are thinking like, where did you come from? Like they're not even noticing, and suddenly you come, you go with higher aspirations, you think about your customers' outcomes long before they did. They are there only to solve problems, and you are there to solve problems, and top of that, provide and help your customers get additional outcomes because they are associated with you. And that's the kind of value distinction. That's the kind of, that's how you start. This is the outcome for your business. If this is your business, these are the fruits of your business. This is what you should strive to get your customers. Coming to the second one, which is if you have a program or a product, if you have customers, then your business should also focus on your outcomes. What do I mean by that? There are so many people in business and they say they are struggling in their business, they're striving in their business, they're working really, really hard, and especially during the first 2-3 years of any business, it's always that struggle, that grind that goes on. But ultimately, you should be able to get your own outcome from the business. What do I mean by that? Not just getting profits to your business, you should also be able to get something out of your business. If not, you're only having work or you're only having a job. You're not having a business. If you're having a business, you should be able to take your lifestyle out of the business as well. You deserve more free time. If you're running a business, if it is running on systems, and if you rely on systems, you should be actually having more free time to do what you want to do. And you should be taking more vacations. You should be spending more time with your family and friends and causes that you care about, because you have a business. It's not just a job. You don't have to report to anyone. You have got that freedom. At the same time, you should also have the resources, and the resources should come from your business. It should not be the other way around. Like, I've seen so many people, they put all the resources they have, and sometimes they're struggling. Of course, initial stages, there is always a struggle, but over a period of time, you should focus on your outcomes as well. So the two needle movers in this category are something that I learned and I picked up during my decades of building my own business, as well as helping other people build their business around the world, in North America especially. Number one is profits. Your business should focus on profits, not only for the business, but also for you. And your profits come from this concept called lifestyle. My good friend Tim Ferriss wrote this book called 4-Hour Workweek, which whether you work for 4 hours a week or 40 hours a week doesn't matter. That's arbitrary. But what I wanted to convey is, I just remembered that Tim, when he wrote this book and this book was launched, I read this book, and that actually shifted that focus in from the business, from the work hard kind of a thing, to work smart and work less, so that you get more things done, more efficiency. Like you get the lifestyle. The focus was shifted from hard work to lifestyle, and that changed to so many. That actually influenced me to have a lifestyle business as well. Otherwise, I don't know, I would be employed somewhere. Perhaps I wouldn't have become an entrepreneur, go around the world, because my business gives me the lifestyle that I wanted always. Like to go to different places, to set up businesses in different countries, to travel around, I'm a seminar junkie. I go to all the different seminars around the world. Now I also run my own seminars. Like, I've been doing that for years. Like, I bring people together from different countries. I do seminars, I do coaching programs. I love doing, because this is the kind of lifestyle that my business gives me. I'm so blessed to be able to do that. And I see so many other people are doing the same thing. So the two big needle movers here are profits. Focus, your business should always focus on making profit. It's not like profiteering for that thing. But of course, if your business doesn't make any profits, it cannot survive. So that has to be built in. And the second thing is, your personal profits is not only from the compensation you get from the business that you build. Of course, that's important. Plus, the most important part of the business or running a business is the lifestyle that it gives you, that you're able to, whether you're enjoying every day in your business, whether you're, jumping out of the bed every morning and going to work, that's the difference it takes. If you're, whether you're an employee or a business owner or a high performance business owner in this case, this is the difference. An employee is like, or a low performance business owner is like, every day they are going like back home. The difference is whether they going taking their stresses and overwhelms to their business, to their home back from their business, or they're going to have or go home with a feeling of, yes, I did it, I crushed it today, and look forward for the next day. Another challenge, another opportunity, another obstacle to overcome tomorrow. So that is the kind of difference it should bring you. And if you focus on lifestyle, that is what's going to happen to you as well. So the third part of this tree is, obviously, when you have a business, you need, of course, you offer something. You have products or you have services, or sometimes you just sell your time. Maybe you're a professional, you sell your time, or you have a service, like you have different services, and or you may have different products to sell. So the new way of thinking through products and services, the needle movers I want to give you is, number one is, I'm going to explain both of them. Number one is iOS. It's not iOS from Apple. It's a different iOS. Let me explain. And the second needle mover is relevancy, which is super most important point in today's business. If you want to be in business in 5 years, 10 years from now, you should be aware of this. Let me explain both. First, iOS. What is iOS? integrated offer suite. What do you mean by that? If you're having a product or a service to sell, this is something that you offer in exchange for usually money. So usually you offer something for money in exchange for money. So if you're a professional or if you're an expert or if you're offering a service, if you're a business offering some kind of a service or a product, what I mean by integrated offer suite means you should have multiple offers, each offer like escalating in price, and they're all integrated or connected with each other. Let me explain. In my own business, for example, in one of my brands, like the book publishing brand, for example, I have my book, like which is Right Now, which is called Right Now, and this book, if someone purchases this book, I offer them an online course at a higher pricing. And if someone buys the higher priced online course, then I offer them publishing services, there are so many different additional services that I can offer to help people actually go and publish their book in a big way. And once they publish their offer, then I give them one-on-one coaching, or sometimes I set up their business for them. Sometimes I do speaking events for them. So there are different layers, different levels, and my engagement with my customers starts increasing and the price goes going up and up and up. So that is what I call as an integrated product suite. So if you are having just one product, let's say, or one service, let's say, that's a very dangerous situation to be in, because you're putting all the eggs in one basket. Like that's exactly what it is, literally. So what I suggest, the needle mover for you is, you should have, of course, you already know this, it's basic, it's common sense, multiple products or multiple services. But the key differentiator here is they should all be connected with each other. Like someone buys your entry-level program or product, they should naturally gravitate towards the next level program or the product, which is slightly more expensive than the entry-level product. And most of the time, the entry-level programs or products require very minimal interaction from you, or sometimes no interaction from you at all. They sell by themselves. Like for example, in my case, my book, I don't go out and sell my book. I have set up a system where the book sells itself. I don't have to do that. I set the systems up once and it keeps happening. Whereas the next step, which is the coaching program, maybe there is a little interaction. So whenever I involve, so the fee goes up. And depending on my involvement or how much I involve, the fee keeps going up and up and up. Sometimes I charge close to sometimes $25,000 for a consulting project nowadays. That's my fee today. Maybe it will be more in the coming years. But it's not just a fancy pricing. The reason is, with the pricing, my involvement and intensity also grows. And this is great value, and people are able to recognize those values and they pay those fees, and maybe they are willing to pay more. So that's why you need to set up multiple offers. If you have one offer, break it up into multiple offers, or better yet, add more offers. Like one key differentiation that I can give you, or a tip I can give you, is, especially if you are in the experts industry, like if you're an expert at something, let's say you are an expert at, let's say, finance, and you can go as wide or as deep into a topic. For example, in your entry-level product or a program or a service, you can go, like, you can just touch upon the first level of your expertise. Like you can just say, what is this all about? Let's say someone is teaching, let's say, acting lessons. Let me just come up with some new topics. Someone is just teaching someone how to act. So the first level could be all about acting, the introduction, and about lighting and how to behave in front of people and all these things, and finally how to go and give your performance. The next level could be go much deeper into each one of these silos. You go deeper. You give demonstrations, you give tools, you give resources. Again, another level goes, you give one-on-one coaching or a group coaching. And then you go much more deeper, you set up everything for them. So that way you can have multiple products or multiple services or multiple offers at different levels, and they are all connected with each other. And with each step, your involvement goes up and the price also goes up. That's what I mean by iOS. So the question for you is, have you set up your iOS, integrated offer suite? Make a list of all your offers, integrate them in such a way, and set it up in such a way that people automatically graduate from one offer to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and so on and so forth. That is what is going to move the needle for you, my friends. And about relevancy, so important today. Nobody is talking about it, but you should learn about it. The reason is, every 2 years, earlier it was like every 15 years the technology was changing. And now every 10 years technology started changing. Now 5 years. And now every 1 or 2 years technology is changing. It's getting faster and faster, cheaper and cheaper. And there are so many businesses, so many technology. Because of technology, the entire industries are getting democratized, which means, just imagine how you were working 5 years ago, how you were going to your work, how you were traveling, how you were ordering food, how you were buying groceries. Hasn't everything changed now? Imagine what going to happen in the next 5 years, next 10 years. Now think about your skill set, think about your offers, think about your services. Are they going to be relevant 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now? Maybe, maybe not. What do you need to do in order to be relevant? That is where innovation has to come in. Innovation is not something like inventing something new and trying to build a magical money-making machine, which is definitely not going to happen. This is where you need innovation. Everybody needs innovation. The exact point where you need that innovation to happen is right here. Relevancy. Make sure your teaching or your programs or your coaching, for example, is it relevant today, and it's going to be relevant in 5 years, 10 years from now. When you think through, these are, as I told you, the high performance strategies, the needle moving strategies. And if most people are not thinking about that, they are only happy if they get a customer today, they're happy with that. How is it going to change in 5 years? Will you be able to sustain this business, grow this business, thrive in this business? That depends if your business is relevant today. So hope this is good so far. Let's get to the more important. All these are important. This is something, number 4 is more important than all these things, because when you have a business, you have customers, you have your outcomes, you have products and services, and none of them are possible without people or audience. So it's very important to understand who your audience is and who are the people that you are going to serve. And in this point, I also want to tell you think about, or help you think about, when marketing, like in marketing conversations, audience always comes, and niche. You have heard about this word, which is today so abused, I would say. Niche marketing. When the word niche itself is borrowed or originated from the 80s or 70s or the last millennium, I would say, because that came from the concept of advertising. Because advertising was expensive. Even today it's expensive. If you go for newspaper advertising, for example, magazine advertising, they're very expensive. And there are very specific newspapers or magazines that very specific people read. So businesses could not go and build products or services that could serve everybody. They started going after advertising to very specific niches, because advertising to the entire broad audience section was abnormally expensive, like astronomically expensive. So over a period of time, taking cue from the advertisers, product creators or service creators, they started creating specific product for specific niches, but that's not a good way to scale and grow your business. The reason is, when you are going after niche, your business is limited. So what the other way around is, I would like to engage this conversation with you, because if you're I am a marketing guy. I have advised people to go for niche marketing years ago, decades ago. But today the game has changed, the world has changed, and with the changed world, we need to adapt, we need to change, and that's what makes us humans. That's and that's what brings us to the top of the pyramid, right? At the same time, we have that responsibility as well. So going non-niche, what do I mean by that? Non-niche means creating programs or products which are like more generic in nature, but marketed specifically to specific niches at a time. What do I mean by that? Let's say my program, my book publishing program, for example. So I believe anyone and everyone has a message to share with this world, and anyone can create a book in 12 weeks or less, and I have systems for that. But I don't promote this program for everybody. Though the program itself is the same, sometimes I promote it only for CEOs, sometimes I promote it only for speakers, sometimes I promote it for coaches, trainers, consultants. So there are different groups of people that I go after, and what happens is my messaging changes each time, but the product or the offer remains the same, because it's the same process. If you want to write a book, there's a very specific process for that, and that's what people have to go through. But the messaging, when I speak to different groups of people, when I'm talking to trainers, my messaging is different when I'm talking to doctors. When I'm talking to non-profits, it's a different messaging. Though they all have that higher aspiration of creating and publishing their own book. You get the idea? So like that, my advice is to think about how broad you can go with your product, with your existing product or service, and then market it to niche groups at a time. Plus, the other needle moving concept that I learned from my mentors when I was trying to grow my business was audience expansion. Audience expansion. What do I mean by that? As I just described, I was describing my business. My audience initially was only coaches, because I thought coaches could do better. They could reach their outcomes, and I could reach my outcomes by offering them a book publishing program specifically for coaches and trainers. And then I realized, I started seeing like who else could be benefiting from the same process. And I realized consultants, and I realized doctors, and I realized professionals, lawyers, business owners, and now CEOs and CXOs. They're all like everybody. I started expanding my audience to include the adjacent people. At the same time, my audience doesn't include poetry. My audience doesn't include people who write romantic fiction, right? That's a different audience. But what about the audience that you already have identified? Try to expand that audience, or try to make your products or service workable to the adjacent audience also. Let's say you're serving, let's say medical doctors. That's your target audience. The adjacent audience could be dentists. Another adjacent audience could be alternative therapists. And another adjacent audience could be like the health practitioners, like people who teach yoga, for example. They're also in the health industry, right? So that way you can expand your concept or your business or your program or your offers to include adjacent audience, and over a period of time expand your audience. The best part is now I run several different brands, and I run Express Leadership Academy, and I run my business coaching program, or the high performance coaching, and I have my publishing program, and all of these are integrated in a way, because when someone goes and signs up for one program, they also obviously get exposed to another program. And when I release more programs in the future, I already have people who know me, who like me, who trust me, who have seen the kind of quality and the kind of impact my my programs or offers make, and they're ready to buy. And that's what I want you to have: more customers, more profits, more outcomes, more lifestyle for you. And that can come from these two needle boards. And the fifth element, this one is really, most people are happy with these things because they have an idea, they have people, they have a product, they have a program, and they have customer results, and the business starts going. And most people are struggling with maintaining this kind of a setup, which they call as a business. But today, It's not about maintaining your business. Today, it's about growing your business, thriving your business, and growing beyond your wildest expectations. Is that what you want, or you just want to maintain? If you want to just maintain a business, then you're not even in a business, my friend. You're in a job. You're in a terrible job, I would say, because it takes all your time away, it takes all your resources away, and it takes all your joy away for most people. So they are left with nothing but to maintain this. And over a period of time, the maintenance cost, it grows beyond what the business can produce for you. That's why you need the 10x, 100x growth strategies.